Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I decided to do something I've never done before, reacting to my old videos. I put a poll on my Instagram asking you guys, what should I do? I know it's a little bit different this time around since I'm not doing high school anymore. I'm going to college. And I decided, what better way to kind of push a reset on things and go back over my old videos. So the first video was back in 2022. Hang on, I gotta make sure I have my screenshot tool so you guys can see my screen. All right, so this was the yearbook commercial that I made. And the idea here was it was a class project. And essentially I am trying to make a yearbook, promote our yearbook. And I decided to do it. And this is what it turned out to. I don't remember everything because this was back in 8th grade, but it was along the premise of, hey, we needed to promote our yearbook, so let's see who comes out on top of a commercial. And my video won, and eventually it got into like our school newsletter that would go out to like parents and other people, staff members, that kind of thing. And yeah, there's me in the back. This is me in the back, obviously. I don't know. We did not know what we were doing, but yeah. Oh my goodness, the page flip. I forgot about this. Oh yeah. Don't you know? Let's call it a yearbook. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, basically I was right here. I was like, okay, what's wrong, And the other guy's like, hey, I don't have a yearbook, Let's watch it again. I made this video on my mom's iPad. So a thing, how I started making videos was I bought software. It was like $30 at the time, and it was better than iMovie because I first started on iMovie, but this is like more advanced. And so that was before I even had like my own laptop. So I was doing videos on my iPad, later on my parents' computer when they upgraded their machine. And so that's basically how this thing kind of got started. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've been trying to find a way to do that forever.
This was fun to edit. I don't know if you guys understand, but when it comes to like making videos, they are so fun to just edit. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say this. Like, it's so much fun to just record, film, go over it, and that kind of thing. So the next one is a little bit different. This is when I was, in high school, and I took a class called KPTV. It is a news-based studio class where you're trained to be on air. The videos would go out on YouTube, so we didn't really have like an actual news station per se. But the idea is, you're supposed to be in front of a camera, and you're doing different segments. There's weather, there's sports. So me, I'm doing sports media. So I took over the sports role, and I did it many times because I was, pretty good for us in our class. This umbrella is moving. Okay, so let's just play it. This is our little intro video. Wow, it is so breezy. So sorry guys, it's so breezy here today. I'm gonna have to hold this. Okay, so let me get to where
Jaguars 3-2 this past Monday night. Their last game
and regional sports.
All right, thanks guys. A lot is going on in the world of sports for this week, both local and regional. Let's start off with the 06 varsity football team.
Wow. So as you can see, I did the graphics, of course, back in the day. I was getting highlights from all sources, right? So our school has a little Twitter handle, and they'll post different scores, different news, and so I was going over that along with anything else I could find, things that I knew about, and I just make it onto this Google Slideshow, which is very interesting. And I tried to
of the
do
American
sports
League Division
highlights.
Series
So
at
if you ever
Yankee
like watch
Stadium.
Sports Center on ESPN, I was trying to recreate
As
that,
you can see,
but for
joining
our
MJ
school.
Melendez and
And
there we go. And
so
then
I said,
Cole
let me
Reagans is
just
at
do
the
the
mound and
Royals because the
pitches to
Royals
his
were in the
uncle
playoffs at that
Sachin.
time.
The ground ball gets away from Bobby Witt Jr. In slow motion, you can see the ball bouncing off his glove,
Wow.
trying to make that catch. And the Yankees hit an RBI single to start game 2. And then there's, however, the Perez back way into the left, into the season, the top of the 4th inning.
And again, I made the whole video
Wow.
for his
Salvador
cutting
Perez,
it.
the captain.
I took it off of like
Tommy
YouTube,
Pham
downloaded it off of
runs
the
back into
downloader,
home plate again,
and basically,
and the boys keep on going
made
with
it
the
happen.
2-1
So
lead.
yeah,
Royals
I
lead.
will
And
say
then,
when
of course,
I knew baseball more so
Tommy
than
Pham from
football,
second to home
for as
plate
like calling
again.
it.
The boys keep on going. He's going all
But
the
it
way
was very
home.
interesting back in the day. It was
With a
very
3-1
interesting to
Royals
do
lead. Fast
these
forward to the
kinds
bottom
of
the ninth
things
inning.
because
Lucas
students never really
Erceg
did
pitches to
that.
Josh
I
Criswell.
was the
Different
driver and
boy
saying,
for
hey,
Be the
why don't we
Special
do
23.
things like sports highlights?
Wow,
for
smacked
example.
it in there.
And
he got a home run for the Yanks.
I think without me
man.
having input or having
You're
the
doing so
idea,
well there.
I probably don't think
And
they would
there we
be
go. Erceg
doing
finishes
things like
victorious. He
this.
grounds out to short.
And
The
so
throw
yeah,
to
it was
first to
fun.
win the ball game.
And again, I had
There
an
you
itch.
go.
I was like,
First pitch
I want to do
for game 4
maybe
is set
sports
for tonight at 7:08
play-by-play,
p.m. on TBS.
and I think this was a good test to see whether or not I could probably do it.
The Monday
And I
Night
really
Football
care how
matchup
like
with the New
perfect I
Orleans Saints
was.
against the Kansas City
My
Chiefs
main
at the
focus was,
rocking
hey,
Aaron Stadium.
can this
Kareem
become
Hunt's
a
first
reality?
touchdown since returning to
And
KC.
I think the answer is a
43
resounding
yard
yes after I did it
touchdown from
many,
Carr
many,
to
many
receive
times. And so
another
truly been
touchdown
honored to do that and have that moment back in the day. And that the best thing about making these videos, guys, is whenever like your friends or people that you know in school watch it and are like reacting to it. Okay, let's go to the next video. Should I do cross country? Okay, so a lot of people know that I'm pretty famous for making cross country videos, and it's all began with this video here. It was a banquet video. It's called Here's to the Journey. I made it as a freshman at the time on my mom's iPad. And, I continue to say this because, like, a lot of people don't realize that you can make a video in 2026 on an iPad. If you have an iPhone or any kind of, mobile device and you use it to film, which I did, and you have an iPad or even a laptop, you can edit a video. And sometimes you can get software for free or it doesn't cost as much. And you have a good video that can compete with, like, any other YouTuber out. A lot of parents, kids, they just fell in love with it because back in the day, this was a project that the coach had for his wife. He would ask sometimes like, hey, is there a parent out there that wants to take on this project? But I think most people just didn't know because, they didn't know how to do it or they didn't know like how to put on something like this. And so I remember hearing about it, that he was looking for somebody else, and I was going to my mom in the car. This was like after practice, by the way, and I was like, "Hey, could I do that?" And my mom's like, "Well, it's up to you if you want to do it or not." And so I told Coach Johnson the next day. I said, "Hey, I want to do this. I have experience in it." This was after I made the 8th grade yearbook commercial, and he said, "Yeah." So I did what I thought I knew, and so at this moment, that's when I pushed interviews so hard because I was like, in the professionals, right, who's on TV, they have interviews, they have video, they have pictures. Why not I interview the athlete and give their POV on cross country? And that's what happened. So I'm going to fast forward to the interviews because mainly the reason why I watched this again is for the interviews, seeing where people were at that time. I have to scan through it though, because there's so many things. Here we go. Let's take a look here.
So how do you think you both did today?
Alright, so me, personally, I felt great. I got 15th, I believe, and this guy right here, he pushed me to go through it.
These two are also running in college in today's world. It's just amazing to see like how they've grown. And that's something I hear a lot from the parents as well as the coaches is that, with me doing this, putting it on YouTube, people can go back and say, hey, where was I back in whatever year when I was, a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school. How was I? What were my times back in the day? You know, things of that nature. And you know, I'm happy that I was able to like bring such joy to the team. Let's go to. I want to go to like the boys JV.
Do today while you run.
Do my best, you know? Plus, we're the emotional support group. My goal
Yeah,
right
this is my
now
friend
for
here.
today is probably
Um,
try to
he's
bring
not running cross country anymore. You know, I
Do you
realize
think you can
that
do that?
as you get older,
I
you
believe
know,
so.
the things you did in high
If I
school, you
can put
probably
the
don't
right
want to do
people in
anymore.
it.
It's
How
like,
you
okay,
feel?
been there, done
Good,
that.
Victor.
You know, I'll do something
Good.
different though. But when you're in
How do
high
you feel about your
school
race?
and, you know, you want to try
Good.
different things, you do it, you know, because it's fun, it sounds interesting, it's cool. But like I said, there are some kids that want to continue it in college, whether that's because of like, you know, getting a scholarship out of it or whatever the case may be. So, yeah. Okay, banquet video out of the four that I've made, just because you know I was new at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing, but you can see each year I got better. So let's go to this year's video, or I guess last year's video, 2024. Oh, this was the year before. I'm sorry. Um, this was also good. You know, let's just go to interviews. I'm not showing the full video because it's like 11 minutes long, and that would be a really long video on YouTube. So
Create a good culture and a good team, and
I'm not gonna
get
bore
some
people.
medals.
All right, Carter, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, last year when you ran today's course, you recorded a time of
And
16
so-
minutes and 13 seconds. What strategy did you use heading into today's race to beat your time
Yeah,
from
I
last
love
season?
Gabe. You know, one of the
you
things
know,
I
I
will
just stood
say
up and
is
I'm a lot
that
fitter, but
there were some
also
times when
I was going for the
yeah,
win this
me
time,
behind the
which
scenes.
is
So
like,
I'm
mentally
gonna pause it
it's
here.
huge. Like
Again,
and
that's my phone. It's the same phone I have right now. And again, you're seeing how you can use, you know, very little technology and make a damn good video. So I think that's the thing I'm trying to illustrate here is that if you're someone that's thinking about making videos, you can use what you have and make a good video. It all depends upon how you use what you have. Um, Back to Gabe again. I will say sometimes he was, um, you know, he didn't really like want to like be in my video. Sometimes I had to like drag him out, and sometimes he would say yes. Sometimes he would say no. Sometimes he would say yes, and then he would I think deliberately forget about, hey, you know, I want to interview you, and I get it. You know, there's some athletes that don't really want to interview because, hey, I'm nervous. Hey, I don't know how I'm going to feel, and it's still a great learning experience for me. So it's almost like you're interviewing like the quarterback on the team, which was Gabe, and he would always do it after his races. He would never do it before his races because he wanted to say like, hey, you know, I did good today. I ran this, blah 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 blah. I will say if he didn't perform to his best, he probably wouldn't do it, and that taught me that hey, interviews go well when that person does well in a game or in a race. And so yeah, let's go to um, we can just go here. Why not?
Keaton, Jackson, and
Now these
Cooper,
kids
all
are
you
still
guys
running
are
today
newcomers to the Panthers
at the
tournament,
time of this video.
newcomers to the sport. Last time I checked, you guys
I'm
broke
friends with
personal
all of
records,
them,
set the
although I
bar
don't
for
really
Washington.
talk to them much,
Tell me what
and they're
goes
probably
into
watching me
your
right
preparation
now.
of all
So,
your races, and what advice would you give to a newcomer to cross country with you, Jackson?
and another thing too, that's a common theme, is like people are so excited whenever they're like getting interviewed. I feel like, as far as the young kids go, it's really refreshing to like see that like, oh wow, people are actually like happy that they're getting in my video, and they just cannot wait until you know the end of the season and just watching this in front of their parents and me and their coaches. That's the thing I will say I'm gonna miss a lot is like being able to like create something that people look forward to and just figuring out what is going to be that next thing that people also want to look forward to from me. So
All right, thanks.
kind of see, there's our coach, Coach Swift. this next one is a spinoff. So last year when I was in districts, I said, you know what, let's make a little like ad trailer, whatever, for like districts. I did not run just districts because I was not the fastest on the team. I was probably the slowest on the team. Not gonna lie. And I said, you know what, shoot, let me just travel down to like Nixa, Missouri, and just film the team running. And that was really, really fun. Man, these guys were really, really talented.
Secret to success, well, it's only hard work and dedication.
And
Keaton Harper. All right, and what time
yeah. And I will say, a lot of people turned out for this race. I mean, you had the principal turning out for this race. You had, like, of course, the runners that were there, parents that were there. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of schools were there to see this race. I'm not sure how we placed though, but it was really, really fun. And at the time, one of my friends, Thomas, was filming. So, and I was so happy because you know, you can only tell so much from a certain camera view. But yeah, this is really fun.
I'm not ruling out the possibility for a second, but our main goal is to make top 4.
Trying to see what else. Yeah, that was it. Okay, last video,
It's always good to be
and then probably gonna wrap it up here. The last ride. This is probably my favorite video out of the series, mainly because I had 2 weeks to cram, and I was trying to do things I didn't do before. So, for example, the drone trailer was, I guess, somewhat new. I used it the year before, but I really honed in on it this time of year. And the story behind that was I begged our drone class at our school, hey, can you guys go out and film a cross-country scene? And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, okay, I do a video for our school every year for our team. I'm looking to see if you guys can like go out on the course and basically do a map out of our course layout. So I went with them during school. They would just go ahead and just fly it. I showed them how to fly it. And it was probably like 30 minutes worth of footage. And I would just make it all into one video. And that was mainly for this video here and for that year before video. And so I think the school ended up using it too to show off like the course to like different schools as well. So I'm not sure about it today. Okay, let's get to the interviews. That's all I care about. So another thing too, each year I try to interview different people that were not in previous videos because I mean, you know, I think deep down I wanted to interview everybody, but of course it's going to be a long video, so you have to like pick favorites, unfortunately.
Alright, what about you, Jackson? I think my favorite memory from cross country so far is when I passed Caden D in the state race last year.
So
It was really a cool moment. I'd never beat him before. I was pretty happy. And I'm with
and this is my favorite interview for Gabe, and you'll see why here in a minute.
I'm going to ask you, how does it feel?
There's a common trend back last year.
A lot of respect for the competition, so I don't want to say I'm Missouri's fastest
And yeah.
runner, until I'm already across the line. So yeah,
That's valid. And how do you like push yourself throughout the races?
ideally there's someone else. I really like winning, so ideally there's someone else to do it for me.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
But if there's not, you know, it's getting me really fit, and it's making me
All right,
better.
here it is, I think.
Even if I feel like
Or
maybe
it's coming
I've
up
already
soon. Here we go. Here we go.
Is it true that you did not want to run a 6-7 minute mile? Or like, hey,
6-7. Oh, never gets old. Yeah. Now they're on to the girls. Let's see the interview for the girls. Nothing too, like this year, I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can put like a side-by-side video of like them talking and then them actually like running.
and lastly,
So you can kind of
why do you
see
guys run?
better of like, okay,
I
understand the grind, the struggle, more so than just them talking in the camera. And also, that can kind of get
I
boring
ran
as well.
because
So
running has taught me a lot in life, and it has taught me to never give up and to always be the best version of myself. It also
yeah, Brooke,
is really
and
helpful.
those two are also running in college as well. So you know, you always have those people that continues to run after school, and you'll have some that don't continue to run at school like me. But I will say this sport has been the most close knit team, like close knit like family that you'll find in sports. I would say
All right, guys, I'm here with Carter
these two are
Stotler
so funny,
and
guys.
Liam
They're
Meyer,
so
and
funny.
today I'm asking you guys, what is your favorite
Um,
cross-country memory so far?
My favorite cross-country memory,
And they're so
Probably
running today as
just
well.
hanging out with everybody at these meets and like pasta feeds are
I'm
fun.
gonna miss the pasta feeds,
yeah.
guys.
That's my favorite.
All right, what about you, Liam?
My favorite memory is
So.
playing poker at Gabe's house and losing $3, but I still had
Then the
fun
last
with the group.
part
It was a good time.
is like about me.
All right, and what are you going to miss from Victor Scott this season?
I'm gonna miss his glory and his very cute face.
I want to miss his aura. So
Yeah.
much aura. I
They're
just love
talking
that guy.
about me because I was like, okay, I mean, you heard the question though, but yeah, this was fun. I'm gonna miss this. Not making the videos, I will say though. I'm gonna miss doing stuff like that though. I will say, that's what I'm gonna miss the most. And I did make this video on my MacBook, so that's mainly why I got it last year, so I could make the video and make it even better. So, yeah. Sorry about that jump scare. There was like a little like bird. All right, well, that's gonna do it here for today. Hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you guys next time on a next video. See ya. Bye.